a $3.5 million Lykan Hypersport, a submarine, $527 million in damages, and a movie franchise that is making car enthusiasts' hearts skip a beat. Around 2,000 cars have been destroyed in the Fast and Furious movies. 348 cars were destroyed in some capacity for the Fate of the Furious alone. Let's take a look at some of the most expensive cars that have been destroyed over the years for our viewing pleasure.
Time to unleash the beast.
To start us off, you might recall seeing a supercar jump a building in Abu Dhabi back in Fast and Furious 7. That car was none other than the Lykan Hypersport. This car is known to be the most expensive car to be destroyed in a movie to date. And to be more precise, this car is worth $3.5 million. The Lykan features the world's first holographic mid-air display with interactive motion control. The car comes with a twin-turbocharged 3.7-liter flat-six engine that can produce 780 horsepower. This car is a pure demon, and turns out it can jump buildings too. Only 7 of these cars were made by W Motors. The rarity of the car might shock people because the car got destroyed in the movie. The actual sequence was done with 6 replicas made of fiberglass, which were built by Dennis McCarthy himself. Dennis is a vehicle builder and modifier. He's the picture car coordinator of all the Fast and Furious movies since Tokyo Drift. That means that the real cars were not harmed during the making of this movie. The bodies were also made from fiberglass molds, but boy did they look real. Fast 5 featured 10 replicas of the 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport. The movie destroyed all 10 of these cars, and it must have hurt when Chev saw their cars being driven off a cliff. There were only 5 1963 Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sports ever built. This makes the Grand Sport one of the most important Corvettes in existence. To add salt into the wound, each of these cars is worth $5 million. All in all, this scene cost $50 million. The car has a top speed of 142 miles per hour, and it's pushed by 480 horses. No wonder this car was featured in the movie. It looks amazing, and is super fast. It is a pity it was driven off a cliff. The 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona was built into a high-performance, limited edition version of the Dodge Charger that was produced in the summer of 1969. The car is only worth $185,692. It might not be the most expensive car that has been wrecked during the movie, but the fact that Dom drove yet another car into a bridge railing, which was leading to him nearly falling off a bridge, is pretty exciting. It comes with an added performance package which adds an extra 10 horses to the engine. The suspension is also unique for this edition. With extra horses, they needed to bulk up the suspension to make it an enjoyable, smooth ride for everyone in the muscle car. Only 10,000 of these cars were made, so watching one fall off a bridge is rather sad. For the movie, the front nose of the vehicle was custom made by Dennis McCarthy himself, using fiberglass to reduce the weight at the front, making the crash more realistic too. When the car crashes, your jaw drops to the floor because your heart is sad that a muscle car is no more. Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift got everyone wanting to buy a drifting car. This is where our next car comes from. The 2006 Dodge Viper SRT10 was a legend in this movie. The Viper doesn't look like much, but when Clay gets behind the wheel, he makes the car look like so much fun. A sports car should not be able to drift as well as this one can. How the car glided through the corners made drifting look easy. Sean and Clay get into a duel and both race into a construction site. Guessing they took a wrong turn because Clay wrecked his Dodge by crashing into a concrete pipe. It was not an easy crash to watch in the movie because one second the car was amazing and the next it was a can of tuna. The car can go from 0 to 100 miles per hour in just 12.2 seconds. The car came with an 8.3-liter, 500 horsepower V10 engine.
Wow. You can read the brochure.
The mechanics had to add a drifting kit to the car to make sure that it was safe to drive through the corners, but on its own, this is one impressive car. Now, let's not forget about the crisp paint job that the car had. The car is only worth $90,390, but the fun and enjoyment that the car provided us with are priceless. Furious 7 had a lot of action from start to finish. One of the most intense moments in the movie was when Shaw and Dom go head-to-head in a bullfight. There were 2 cars involved in the iconic fight for dominance. Shaw, who's played by Jason Statham, drove a Maserati Ghibli, which is worth $72,850. This car can go from 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds, making it an ideal car to scare off another driver heading towards you. It comes with a lot of bark and has the bite behind it as well. Dom, who's played by none other than Vin Diesel, drove a Plymouth Roadrunner that is worth $94,742. This is one of the most famous Roadrunners in the world. The muscle car is known as the Hammer because of how it looks. Only 7,183 of these cars were made, making it another rare car showcase in the movie franchise. In the scene, the Maserati Ghibli gets its entire front rearranged in a head-on collision with the Plymouth, which did not look so good at the end either. This scene is worth $167,592 in car damages. That must have hurt the wallet more than it hurt the two drivers.
Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
Sticking with the Furious 7 movie, as if Furious 7 didn't cost enough, the producers threw in the destruction of an Aston Martin DB9. This isn't the type of car you would expect in a Furious movie. Aston Martin is known for being a James Bond car, but a DB9 was destroyed to add some spark and class to the movie. The Aston Martin DB9 can go from 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, which means it was built for speed and perfect for the movie. The car is fit with a V12 engine that screams through the streets. After Dom got his 1970 Dodge Charger, he drove to downtown Los Angeles and was met by Shaw. Shaw and Dominic play a game of chicken. Dom jumps his Dodge Charger over on top of Deckard's Aston Martin when they crash, destroying both cars. The Aston Martin is worth a whopping $155,000. Seems like an expensive toy to play with to show off who owns the streets. Guess this is one of the reasons why James Bond owns a few Aston Martins. You can't talk about the Furious movies without mentioning the one and only 1970 Dodge Charger. Since a 900 horsepower engine would not be practical for filming, as it would be very difficult to control, the Charger ran on a big block performance-built 440 Magnum engine. This engine is still in the movie car today.
900 horses of Detroit muscle.
The rollover Charger ran on a 318 engine. The car itself is not expensive, it's worth more than $40,000, but compared to the other cars that have been destroyed in the movie, this is pocket change. What makes this car so valuable are all the modifications that have been placed into the car. Some of the modifications include a roll cage, aftermarket engine, wheels, and of course, a modified suspension.
On green, I'm going for it.
Dom and Brian start drag racing. They both miss an oncoming train, and Dom wins the race. Unfortunately, once the race ends, the car is then fixed in the sequels. The 1969 Yanko Camaro SYC featured in the Too Fast, Too Furious movie. This car is worth a jaw-dropping $225,968. Turns out that the car is not expensive because of the mods, it's expensive because how rare the car is. When the Camaro was first produced, it cost around $15,000. After Brian and Roman knock Enrique and the rest of Aron's men out, Brian drives the Yanko off the pier and over the water to save Monica Fuentes. The car and the boat were casualties during this rescue mission. The 1999 Nissan Skyline GTR R34 is worth $89,310, but it comes with an amazing story. The car was driven by Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor. The fun fact about this car was that the car was owned by Walker himself. This is arguably the most popular car in the franchise, besides the Dodge Charger that Dom drives. The car was given $20,000 worth of modifications, so that the car can be Furious ready. Some of the modifications were high-end HRE 446 wheels, West Motorex body kit and flexivity rear wing, HKS titanium exhaust, and the iconic blue long striped vinyl. The production crew that was responsible for the Skyline removed the front drive shaft from the car and disabled the Skyline's four-wheel steering. This allowed the car to misbehave like a regular car. During the movie, the car was impounded following Brian's arrest by the U.S. Customs agent. Last but not least, we have Brian's 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse. The car is only worth around $33,834, but you can't have a Furious video without showing the iconic lime neon green Eclipse. The car was given $10,000 worth of customizations, including a Robocar Armor Eclipse body kit, APR 2-level GT2 style wing, dual NOS tanks, and more. During the first movie, Brian entered an illegal street race.
I'm gonna win.
During the race, the Eclipse's intake manifold began to overheat from the overcompensation of NOS used in the vehicle. Brian ignored the warnings and continued to use the NOS until the car began to fall apart. Brian eventually lost control of the car and was rescued by Dom. The two escaped the police. The car was later destroyed by a surprise shootout. The Fast and Furious team has caused a lot of cleanup on the streets over the years. 37 special vehicles have been destroyed, along with 31 buildings and thousands of cars. They have racked up a heavy insurance bill, but it's all been worth it.